Here we go. You're a little early on that one there.
No, it's perfect. Let's get it.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, week 8 done. We're back. How we feeling, Dom?
Same old, man. I'm riding high.
Fair enough. Fair
Both of my
enough.
football teams are playing pretty well right now. Both better than I
Hmm.
expected going into the year. And honestly, this is
Yeah.
the most excited I've felt about football in a long time. So,
Nice. Yeah. We don't
yeah,
have to talk about mine. If
you called it.
anyone
Hey,
would,
you called it. I'll give that to you.
I'm upset at how right I was about that.
I'm upset that you were right too.
I didn't want to be that right. Yeah. That one hurt a little bit. I don't know, but on a
Yeah.
separate note, if anyone wants to donate sets of hands to the Baltimore metro area, that would be awesome because
Maybe that's why they
60% of that team needs to find some.
no, we figured it out. They traded for Deontay Johnson to catch balls, but he doesn't really do that well. So just kind of
He
ask.
separates. He does
That's
separate.
great. Yeah, but he doesn't play hard.
Well, regardless, DB stayed
Honestly,
after practice today
I
to
think he
get
fits
extra
that
reps
team
in
pretty
catching
well.
balls.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
guys definitely
well,
need that.
somebody pointed out. So we have Lamar Jackson, Derek Lamar Henry, and now Deontay Lamarcus Johnson.
LaMarcus.
It's the how do they say it? I don't know. The Avengers into Lamar somehow.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Avengers. Lamar Avengers. I don't know. I forget how it was written. It's like
Yeah,
I don't know.
that sounds about right.
It's all
Lamar
good. I just
Ventures.
butchered that. Whoever was creative
I don't know
creative
if I'd
enough to do
really
that.
include Deontay in that mix, but sure.
It's a name thing, and it's something. It's something. And Diana Rossini pointed out that Buda Baker is an option for them, so I'll take that.
Did you see that the Chiefs are looking at wide receivers again?
Who now?
I don't know, but apparently Jalen Watson is hurt, so they're dipping their toes back in. And
Well,
I'm
I mean,
like,
to be fair, they have what DeAndre Hopkins and
who's
Sky Moore right
33?
now.
Sky Moore's on IR.
Oh yeah, that's right. Who's alive yet for them?
Um,
Justin Ross? Is that still a thing?
Worthy, Xavier Worthy.
Is Xavier Worthy?
I don't know if Ross is a thing, so
I don't know. Keep your phone close. I might be calling soon. All
that's
right.
funny.
Well, let's have some fun here. Any
All right.
games that we love to talk about here? I don't know. Let's do
I
the
mean,
Bears Commanders. Actually,
well, hold on, hold on.
let's just get it. Oh, oh,
Let's
oh.
no. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here.
Hmm.
Anthony Richardson got benched.
Oh yeah, let's do that. I completely forgot about
Yeah.
that. I was going right to
What elephant
games.
were you talking about?
I don't know. I thought you were going to make me talk about the Ravens more.
No, I'm not gonna make you talk about that.
All
There's
right.
nothing
Thank you. I
really to talk
appreciate
about.
that. See, we are
Um,
friends.
yeah, sometimes. All right, so Anthony Richardson got benched.
Mm-hmm.
I have my opinions, you have your opinions,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, I think it's pretty shitty. He
Hmm.
had 8 total games.
10.
Eight, did it end up being 10? I thought it was only 8. Okay, we'll say 10. 10, was it 8 full
I think
healthy
10 games
games
is
or 10
maybe
full
that's
healthy
what
games?
maybe 8 games that he finished.
Okay. We'll
Maybe
call it 10. We'll call it 10 for the sake of this. 10
I'll look that
games
up in the meantime.
before the organization pulled the plug. I don't know if it's a permanent pull. I don't know if it's hey, just we're winning games with Joe. Let's do it like this, whatever it may be. I'm saying you drafted this kid fourth overall. You knew that he needed time to develop into what you need him to be. So instead of actually giving that to him, you start him right away, throw him into the game immediately, and expect him to succeed, knowing that he needed time. You gave him the worst thing that you could possibly do. And when he gets hurt, you question that. When he struggles, you bench him. When he says, "Hey, coach, I need a breather because I'm out here running the ball nonstop," you bench him. Point blank, period. Yes, there are things he needs to work on, but you need to actually give him that opportunity now. So if you're going to bench him, do it in the right way. Let him sit, let him learn, let him actually grow to be a quarterback. Joe Flacco is a great mentor, so you probably should have brought him in to do that actually, which is what he did with Lamar. And now you see Lamar has grown into an MVP quarterback. He's hit his full potential and then some. That's what you want with Rich. That's what you want out of him. You want him to hit his full potential and then some, because if he does, he just might be the most unstoppable quarterback in the NFL. You see what happened with Josh Allen. They gave him time. They put him in position to succeed. They got him a wide receiver that really blew up his game. They built that offensive line that worked for him. They put a system around him that really developed the way he plays. And when he had struggles, they did not fault him for it. So at the end of the day, I understand you're 4-4, you're still competing. However, it's a bad look. That's all.
So, I think the short answer on this is right now sitting at 4-4 with the situation that is the AFC playoff standings right now. I don't really think it's debatable at this moment that Joe Flacco gives you a better chance to win games.
No,
You know what I mean?
and I'm not.
I think
I'm not
just
I'm
flatly
not
on that. I
debating
think that's that's what I'm saying. I think that's the short answer on it and why that move really was made. The long answer is he's just not good enough, in my opinion. So
no, and we differ far and away from this.
Yes, I think I don't fault the Colts for taking the swing at all because clearly the upside was, there was that potential upside. However, just because there is like that potential ceiling, normally the guys like coming out of college, if your ceiling is, through the roof, like it was with Anthony Richardson, your floor is bottoming out pretty bad there too.
Yeah.
Like you don't like Bo Nix, his ceiling isn't that high, but his floor also isn't low. You know what I mean? He's he's kind of playing exactly right, like what you thought.
When you drafted Bo Nix, you knew exactly what you were getting. When you drafted A. Rich, you knew what he could be.
No idea. You know what he could be.
You knew what he could be, but you also knew what you were getting immediately. You're getting a very inexperienced quarterback that had issues with accuracy. You knew that.
Yeah.
But you didn't work on that. You didn't try
well, it's not
to work
even
on that with him.
It's not even that. Like, not only the accuracy stuff, but also the injury stuff. So, like, I feel like so many people, especially, even leading into the draft, because, like, all of a sudden he was, like, shooting up everybody's draft boards and everybody was talking about him going early. And I think the Colts kind of obviously were doing the same thing where it's just like, oh, it's like runs like Cam Newton, but, might be able to throw like Lamar kind of thing. Like, you might be able to develop him as a passer like he did, the Ravens did with Lamar. But I don't think you got either side of that. I think you got the kind of the worst versions of that. Cause like, it's not only that they, it's not just that they didn't work on accuracy issues with him. It's also that they didn't get the chance. 3 games, into the season last year, he gets hurt. And then on this year, I think they've had, somebody pointed this out. I forget who I was listening to, but they pointed out it's been like 8 designed runs for him. And he's been, or like a dozen design runs, whatever it was. And he's had like 4 or 5 fumbles and been hurt on 2 of the plays.
Yeah.
On designed runs. So like, that's the other part of it too. Is just like, if you're going to be a mobile quarterback, you also need to be able to take shots. And it hasn't looked like that. Like Tua getting hit, with his concussions, that's a whole separate thing. Or, that's just, he's not a mobile guy. So like, you almost expected a little bit more for those guys to not know how to go down, or on the flip side, they're really good at it. Like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning just not taking shots.
No, 100%.
And Cam, his career got shortened because of it by the end of it. But he was so big and so physical that, like, he was beating himself up a little bit. And it shortened his career, but it wasn't like Anthony Richardson 2 years in. And it's like, the guy can't stay on the field. And now he's tired.
That's
like, that was a whole other thing that was just like,
I don't necessarily
not a great look.
I don't fully get that one, but I just kind of had to throw it in there a little bit. I understand. I understand why you're doing it right now, and I hope he actually. Here's the full scope of everything. Shane Steichen is a great coach for him. Truly, truly is.
Mhm.
He would we talked about this when he got drafted. We're like, oh, he's going to the right place to
Mhm.
really learn from a coach who understands how to work with a mobile quarterback and set him up to success because he did it with Hurts. So
Yep.
theoretically he should be able to do this again.
And not only that
I
was with Justin Herbert his rookie year.
Yeah, so I don't know if there was a misconception, if there wasn't proper communication between the two, or if Anthony Richardson is just young and not able to learn everything yet. Or maybe he just doesn't fit the system that they want to do. And if that's the case, that's the case. It's fine. That could potentially be it. Simple as that. I understand you're about to
That was
interject.
going to be
Say some
no.
shit.
That was just going to say like that's my other piece with
Oh,
it
okay.
where I like it really like kind of puts the nail in the coffin on Anthony Richardson for me is because Steichen worked with Justin Herbert. Like Justin Herbert had his best
Yeah.
season with him. Jalen Hurts had his best season with him. Gardner, they almost got to the playoffs last year with Gardner Minshew playing, what was it, 14 games.
Yeah.
And then Joe Flacco walks in the door and is lighting up the
Lights it
room
up.
too. It's like everybody that Steichen gets his hands on is working, and they're all different styles of
Yeah.
quarterbacks too. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it's just not working with him. And on top of that, like the first half this past weekend, which again, a game they should have won, and I think and I'm not the only person that's going to say this. If Joe Flacco plays that game, they win that football game.
Probably. I'm not
And
disagreeing with you.
the part of that is at halftime he was 2 of 13 or 2 of 15,
Yeah,
and that's
he
on
had the most
your
insane stat line I've ever seen. 9 of
yeah
30 with 200 some yards. Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah.
that's
I mean
so
that's
confusing.
wild, yeah. But I mean even just the 2 of 13 or 2 of 15, whatever it was there in the
Yeah,
first half, that's your scripted stuff. That's the stuff that you spend all week doing. Is like
prepping. Yeah, and
yes,
he's
like
just
you're
missed.
running these plays and
Yeah,
you're just missing everything.
yeah. I just guess like my whole point is
You have a lot of
period.
fantasy stock in them.
No, no. I could care less about that. I liked him coming in.
Yeah.
Period. And I still like him. I still think he has that potential. But I told
Mm-hmm.
you last year he needed to sit. He needed to wait. He needed to learn. That
Mm-hmm.
is
Oh yeah, I
with a
agreed with that too.
with a quarterback like that who looks with Lamar with
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes,
If you
you
had
sit
any chance
them.
of this dude working at all, there was no reason he should have been out there last year.
He needed to sit at least 8 games. You were
Mm-hmm.
excited. You got too excited and you started him, and you got a glimpse of what he could have been, but you never were able to really sit
Mm-hmm.
him down, learn the offense, work through progressions, work through his small issues at the time that have now grown to be larger issues because you didn't do what you need to do at first. That's my problem. That's always going to be
That's
my
fair.
problem.
That's fair.
And
I just like I said, when it comes to coaches like that have proven themselves, like again, we'll just using Bo Nix as an example
yeah,
here. Like
yeah, but yeah, if you want some,
If Bo Nix flops, I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like
yeah,
with Sean Payton specifically, like if he was dog shit this year,
hmm
the only heat that Sean Payton is taking is, oh, he whiffed on the quarterback.
yeah,
Like he got the wrong guy. It's not, oh, what is Sean Payton doing to Bo Nix or anything like that. It is immediately getting placed at the feet of Bo Nix there. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's getting placed. It's still all getting placed on Averett. Nothing's really getting placed on Steichen, and I'm not
Yeah,
placing
that's
any of this
fair.
on Steichen either. I think a lot of it's also organization. Chris Ballard and the owners
Mm-hmm.
are really going to put a lot of this onto we want to win the game, which I also understand. You play to win the
Yeah.
game. That's the whole definition of football.
Yeah.
Especially
I
if
mean,
you
when
are
your
a
job's on the line too, like, cause like,
yeah, especially if you're a
that's the other part of it.
semi-competitive team, that's what you're looking for. That's what you want to do. I
Mm-hmm.
completely understand. I'm not mad. Like that's not what I'm mad about. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm mad that he was never really set up in the way he needed to be. And if you're looking for immediate success and not something that you need to grow into,
Mm-hmm.
don't take that quarterback. Simple. It's a
That's
project.
fair.
Don't take the project. Take the quarterback
Yeah.
that's guaranteed. Trade up. Take a CJ Stroud. Take a Bryce Young. Take the guys that you think are gonna work immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait and pick, or take one next year. But don't
Yeah.
pick the guy that needs the most work and expect him to play and be the immediate quarterback you want.
Yeah, I do think it was tougher too. If to your point, is like when the only other guy that you have on your roster really that's going to see time is Gardner Minshew. Like, you go back to the Chiefs with Mahomes. It's like you had Alex Smith there. You were winning the division. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot easier in that situation to go. All right, we're just going to let you sit. The Ravens with Lamar and Joe Flacco. The Bills, it worked out for them. But like,
they also
Josh Allen started
dealt,
day one because they didn't have anything else. It was,
but they also
either Josh Allen or Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, no, they did.
That's the difference. They dealt with all the pain. They dealt
Josh
with all
Allen
the issues.
is also a better football player than Anthony Richardson is.
Yeah, but that's easy to say today. 5 years ago, when he was just getting going, it wasn't that easy.
Yeah, but
it wasn't
I think if you go back and watch those games, as bad as the numbers were, you saw like the real flashes of like, oh shit, like if he puts it together, this dude's going to be a real problem.
Yeah,
like jumping over people, running through people, and then
we can say the same
Anthony
thing
Richardson
about
gets hurt right away though.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get hurt, how astronomical were those numbers going to be last year? He was on a ridiculous pace to start the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to play that game of what ifs, we can. But again, it's like we're gonna run in circles about it because it's. Well, I mean, one, we have two different opinions, and two.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that's the other part of it too. Is just like you and I had completely different thoughts on this guy, even before he got drafted.
Yeah, and my opinions took a little longer to grow, but when I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is an athlete. This is a guy that's gonna make plays, and he does. And I think he still can if given the proper time, communication, and willingness of an organization, whether it be the Colts or whether it be somebody else. You might not win every game to start. You might not be. You're going to make bad plays. You're going to see turnovers. But if you put that time in, you put that effort in, you're going to have success. Like if A-Rich sat behind Russell Wilson, holy shit.
Yeah, that's fair. I do
that's
think
insane.
that he might end up being your Sam Darnold. I think there's a chance for that somewhere. Where I just don't think he's going to get the chance at this point. You know what I mean?
I think
they might run him out. They'll run him out next year, but like that's what I mean. It's not with them at this point. So it'll be on a second team or a third team that somebody he's going to float around just because of the physical gifts that he has. Like 6'4", 236 is nothing to sniff at.
No, and people are going to want that. That talent's going to be.
I think you're going to see it pretty quickly, like if and when either gets cut or not re-signed by the Colts. Like
so, here's
depending on what somebody's willing to give up for him, kind of thing.
Here's a crazy scenario, and this is the last thing, and we're going to get off of it because and it'll probably lead into our next scenario, just because. That's how we work. We talked about this, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Bring it up again. Sam Darnold, free agent this offseason. Colts, Joe Flacco's on a 1-year deal. He's 40 years old. He cannot keep doing this, bouncing around. He doesn't want to keep doing this.
No.
But I mean, if you're going to pay him, he's gonna. But also, how much are you really
show
willing?
Up just cause.
How much are you really willing to pay a 40-year-old quarterback at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's not gonna. It's not like he's
actually. What do you long term expect of that? So Sam Darnold, free agent. Colts throw money at him, sign him, bring him in, 3-year, $105 million.
Honestly,
deal.
Do you think? Oh, Sam Darnold. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sam Darnold.
There we go.
No. I don't know who you thought I said. Yeah.
I thought you were
not Flacco.
Give Joe Flacco a 3-year deal. I was like, I don't even think Joe Flacco's signing a 3-year deal.
No. So I think
speaking of guys who are tired.
Yeah. So Sam Darnold will say $120 million, $40 million a year.
Yeah.
Just play that number. Do you think they trade Anthony Richardson at that point? Because if teams are calling.
Probably.
Period.
Probably.
Teams are going to call.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I'm curious. I think you're going to get a real look at like how teams value him.
Who do you
Anthony
think?
Richardson.
Yeah. Who do you think the best team would be for him to go to. I'm not even saying to start immediately. I'm saying, who do you think the best team is to go to?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. I just don't think it doesn't feel like something he would go for. I think we're thinking the same thing here.
No, I have no idea.
Are you actually asking? I thought you were setting me up.
No, I'm genuinely. I have nobody in mind. Nobody off the top of my head.
Gotcha. I thought you were going to try to get me to say the Rams just because Stafford's on the contract again next year.
No, I
thought you were setting me up for that, but that just doesn't. No. It doesn't feel.
That's not
make
even
any sense to me with McVay.
I think there's a different NFC West team that would work better, but
the Seahawks, is that where you're going to go?
I think the Seahawks would work better. That's his first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, I get that.
I think he would fit better.
I could see them moving off of Geno and going for Sam Darnold before I see them going after A-Rich.
Yeah, I think if you want,
especially if the Vikings do rattle off 10 wins.
Yeah,
like I think that makes more sense. Like I think you're looking at potentially in Miami.
They're sticking with Tua if he's healthy.
No,
he's playing.
I don't. I'm not
as a backup, maybe to sit for 2 years. Maybe
potentially that, and make sure that they have somebody because they did nothing to invest in that in a backup quarterback position this year, and then Tua obviously goes down. Yeah,
I think it would come down to how much you have to give up.
I was going to say, I think that's the market you're going to be looking at because if they're giving up, I think at most it's going to be like Cowboys getting Trey Lance, and that was
I think it's more expensive than that. Because I don't think it is. A-Rich has actually played football games. You've seen a little bit more. Trey Lance. Okay, Trey Lance has somehow played way less football than Anthony Richardson has. Somehow.
Yeah, weirdly enough. Somehow.
Yeah.
But
somehow.
Here's what I'm going to say, though. Okay, well, what did the Steelers give up for Justin Fields?
That's fair.
Yeah.
The
Jaguars to get Mac Jones, and Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler once, and I think it was fluky. But regardless, he was a Pro Bowler.
So was Snoop.
Don't take shots at Snoop.
You want to play this game?
But anyway, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Justin Fields was also a Pro Bowler, but to that trade, the Bears, their hands were tied. You're not keeping Fields,
right?
You're just not. You're getting rid of him because one, you're doing right by him. Two, it's a waste.
That was 4. That was 4.
Yeah, whatever. One, you're doing right by him. Two, you're just wasting his talent on the field, and he wants out. It doesn't really make sense, so you might as well get something for him other than getting nothing. So the Steelers pressed and got what they wanted to give, which is great. It doesn't always happen like that. But
I still think that that's about the market you're going to be looking at if they do move off of him.
I think it might be like a second tops, just because of his. I said tops.
Who's giving up a second, though? That's what we're saying. Is like I don't think there's anybody desperate enough to give that up.
Yeah, But with how bad this quarterback class is coming in, I think there might be.
You take your shots with the extra 2 years of control.
He's just as young as half the guys coming in.
I'm not saying age. I'm saying contract control.
I was talking like my point hit before you said anything. That's why I wanted to get that out. But
I'm not talking about age. I'm just specifically, you're buying yourself 2 more years, and then you can still hope. And you're already worried about the injury concern with him at this point.
It's also like the fact. I don't know. I just personally don't really like any of these quarterbacks. I mean, I've said it before.
I'm agreeing. I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, if you're the Raiders, you're gonna talk yourself into drafting a guy over trading for Anthony Richardson. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking that's just the first team of like teams that we know are going to be drafting their quarterback this year.
Yeah, I almost just want to pencil Shedeur Sanders to the Raiders right now and just call it a day. Like, if they're picking top 10, I'm gonna write it every single time. I'm gonna write that check.
Personality-wise, that shit fits so well.
It's perfect. It's perfect. But again, I'm not here to talk about Shedeur. That'll be for when we do our NFL draft next week.
Yeah, start doing all that shit next week. Oh yeah, we are doing that next week. You did say about that
next week after week 9.
That's true.
But yeah, it's just kind of like where I'm at with everything. Yeah,
No,
I
I
don't know.
got you. All
There,
right.
there's just like a lot of options. We spent like 20 minutes talking about that.
I was just
Just
gonna
a
say we
nice
just
little
did
rant.
25 minutes on Anthony Richardson,
My bad.
and
I just
no, it's all
it
good.
was a
It's a
it was a
very
point of
that is
call.
one of the touchier topics between the two of us
Yeah,
that
I
we
mean
are firmly grounded in our stances on.
if Lawrence got benched, we would have had that same thing, same conversation. I think I could have been a little less myself, though. I would have taken out my own personal opinions for that.
Oh yeah,
But
you would have buried me if Lawrence gets benched.
no. Because he's not playing awful this year,
No,
and
he's
I can
not.
see that. And it wouldn't really make sense if he got benched. I would
No.
question it for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, again, I don't know. None of these games really meant too much to me this week, honestly. Uh,
No, that they were.
yeah, nothing
It
more
was a
that
week of
I want to
football.
really
I
like
mean,
talk about.
so
Yeah.
so the biggest point that kind of came out of this weekend is that the AFC East is a runaway, and the
Mm-hmm.
NFC West is the tightest division you're ever going to see in football.
And the NFC North.
NFC North is tight for a different reason.
Well,
NFC
yeah.
West is tight because it's the battle of mid-tier teams and a beat-up
Mm-hmm.
LA Rams and a
And
beat-up San
a,
Francisco 49ers.
I
And
think, a
then
sleeping giant in that division.
with the Cardinals, I
What
said the
about any of
Rams
them is
already.
giant?
I already said the Rams.
Well, I was
Did
just
you miss
doubling
that?
down on a sleeping
Oh,
giant.
I'm so sorry.
Well, you skated right past him. You didn't give me a chance to say anything there.
I'm so sorry.
Damn it.
And the NFC North is just the battle of the gods, apparently.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
It's
Bears are
just
4-3 and in last place
welterweights.
right now. It's insane what's
Yeah,
going on there.
yeah,
NFC East
but
could get fun down the stretch too, just with Washington and Philly.
yeah, just between those two teams, we
It's
won't talk about the two dumpster fires there, but yeah, those
yeah,
two
true.
teams are going to be very, very interesting. They play each other. What is that? Week 10?
I
No,
was gonna
that's
say
the
it should be.
Commanders. They play each other Thursday night, week 11. So that'll be
Is that
fun. That's in Philly.
Philly?
Philly Commanders.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah,
I
you're
just
good.
I missed it there for a second. Yeah, no, I'm just like looking at the playoff breakdown and like this is where things are starting to get fun. There
Yeah, I mean,
are
we're getting to that point of the season where lines are being drawn. You're seeing who's good, who's bad, who's going to be competitive, and
yeah.
what's going on in each team's organization. Plus, trade deadline is next Tuesday. So
I'm really
between
curious who's gonna get aggressive here. I'm really curious about that. I do. My biggest one is I really want to see if Max Crosby gets dealt.
he's not. He's not.
The only thing that I say to that is I've heard owners say we're not moving this guy before, and then that guy gets moved.
I think it would take
Everybody's got a price. I think
it
it's
would
two
take it's a
ones,
big I think it's two ones in a player. Yeah.
maybe.
He's a top five edge. You don't
Yeah,
trade
no,
that.
and he's
You
under
don't trade
contract.
that in season. I'm sorry. You can trade that, but if they just don't get dealt in season. Look at like
Right.
Von Miller, Khalil Mack. They got traded in the off season. A
I'm
player like
just
that
really
doesn't
curious if
really ever get
Detroit just
traded.
says fuck it, we don't really have any holes, and offers up two ones.
Maybe,
And
but
I
that's
would
not
not be
really.
shocked about that.
I'd be a little shocked. That's not really how their front office does things.
The only reason I say that is their GM was in LA when they were saying fuck those picks.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I think
And
it's a little different, but it's similar.
I think you're kind of playing that game right now of again, like they don't really have any holes. It's just like
Yeah,
we do need a dominant pass rusher again with Hutch being down, and then
yeah,
next year you have two, and you're still going to be able to afford it
yeah,
because they've drafted so well.
yeah. I think I think they definitely add an edge. Um, I
I
just
think
don't
the
think
more
it's gonna be
realistic is
Crosby.
like a Jadeveon Clowney or
Yeah,
Zadarius
like
Smith,
something that's a little cheaper.
but I would not be
I
completely blown away if they just
if yeah
said we're going all in.
in 3 months if they do that deal, I'm not shocked. I'd be shocked if they do it by Tuesday.
Fair
That's
enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I think A trade that is bound to happen is the Steelers trading for a receiver. Multiple people have stated that they'd be shocked, like super shocked, if the Steelers do not
If it's
trade for
Andrew
one.
Filipponi, I'm not buying it.
It's not Filipponi. If Andrew
All right,
Filipponi
good.
said it, it's not happening. I think
That's
it was
very true
Rossini.
because
I think
I
it was
don't think that
Rossini.
dude has had.
A right call ever. No.
No, that dude's just been full of misses for the past couple of years. I feel for the
Typically,
guy.
typically
For
they
the
go
guy.
against me, but last week it went right, so I'll take it.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
He said Syracuse was gonna blow out Pitt. Was he wrong?
Yeah, that was
That was ugly.
really
Yeah,
cold
ugly
take.
game.
Oh, one last thing, just because we were talking about the standings there, and speaking of the Rams.
Oh yeah,
So
get back on that topic. NFC
this,
West and how much of a shit show
I
that
just
is.
wanted to point this out because this is pretty wild. Oh shit, I lost. Oh yeah, here we go. 49ers are on a bye this week. So if the Rams beat the Seahawks and the Cardinals lose to the Bears, Rams
Oh
are in
my
first
God.
place in that division.
And the Seahawks are in last.
That
The Seahawks
a Rams
literally
win this
would go
week
from
and the
first to
Cardinals
last.
lost, and the Rams would go from last to first. That's how close that division is right now.
That's crazy.
And the Rams are healthy.
That's crazy, man. Because
Absolutely insane.
they beat the Niners. The Cardinals beat them, but if the Cardinals lose,
they're all beating up on each other a little bit here. That's what's fucking with those standings.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I am. I'm here for all of that right now.
Yeah,
and
is
we
that
are.
them at home?
That's
No,
a really
they're
good question.
they're in Seattle.
In Seattle, fair enough.
Not as fun for them, but then next Monday they play the Dolphins. So not as fun. And then they go to New England, never easy. Home against the Eagles, not easy.
Just because the Jets lost him doesn't mean that it's a tough game.
No, but it's still not fun. It's not a fun environment to play in.
That's fair.
Saints, it can
They
be
can get
an
on a
easy
run here.
end.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, this could
So-
they could get on a run here and right the ship a little bit.
Yeah, depending on I'm losing it. Depending on the Seahawks and how they progress, their last 3 games could be Jets, Cardinals, or it is Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Yeah.
Could be a very favorable end to their season. They
Let me
do
look
have
this
a
again.
tough back-to-back here in week 14, 15 with Bills, and then they have to go to San Fran. But
Yeah.
I mean, they win against the Seahawks, Patriots, Saints, Jets, Cardinals. Seahawks again was at 5. Puts them at 8 wins. So they need to steal one against
I
the
think you
Niners,
can-
Bills,
11
Eagles,
might win that division.
Dolphins. 11. I think 9's probably going to win that division. You want me to be honest?
I don't think it's that bad.
No, I'm not saying it's that
I
bad.
mean, what are
I'm
we
saying
sitting
it's
at
that
there?
competitive. It's going to be that competitive.
Yeah, 4-4 is in the lead right now. What do we got? 9 games left for everybody.
I think 2 teams are going to finish
Or-
at 9 and 8. The
They
winner
got
is going to be the
10. They have
What?
10 games left. The Rams got 10 games left.
Yeah.
They already had their bye.
Rams have 10. Yeah.
So
I think if they
8 and
go
2
six,
is a little bit of a
6 and
stretch. but
4, 6 and 4 wins the division. Because if they
7
win
and 3 to be safe. 7 and 3, I would say, to be safe.
yeah, well,
I think
7 and
you got to
3,
shoot for 7.
That's not what I'm saying. 7 and 3 wins the division outright. 6 and 4 wins their division. I didn't put my thumb up.
That was
6
me.
and 4, oh, way to go. 6 and 4 wins the division, but it is a tie. Tie at the top, 9 and 8 between 2 teams. They luckily still play 5 games, I believe it was, against everybody in the division. So if they win all 5 of those games,
The Rams?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah.
they're 1-1 in division right now.
1-1. Oh, they beat the Niners. That's right.
And
Which is huge.
they're 2 and the only team in that division conference record wise. Rams are 2 and 4. Cardinals, Niners are 2 and 3, and then the Seahawks are 1 and 3 against the NFC. Right
So the fact that
So they're
played
kind
the
of
least
like
amount.
caught in there. They got to get on a run in division at least. They got to handle business in division.
I'd rather be 1-1 than 2 and 3 like the Cardinals are, because now that you're healthy, you get that chance to develop.
But division versus conference. What I'm saying is, like, if they all kind of cannibalize themselves, because Cardinals are 2-0 in division right now.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah. And that's where it goes to first. That's why
Yeah,
Cardinals are in first place right now at 4-4, because 3 of those
yeah,
teams are 4-4, but they have the best
yeah.
division record.
I think the winner of this division is whoever wins the most division games. Period. That's what it's going to come down to. Because
That's
I'm
going to get
telling you,
hairy. That's going to get really hairy because they might
it
be beat up
is.
on themselves.
It's going to be a tie. There's going to be two
Unless
teams
everybody
with
just
the
goes
same.
3-3 in division.
Yeah.
Which
Then
is
it's going to be a nightmare.
currently still on the board.
Yeah. So
right.
that's just kind of like my take on that and kind of what I think.
Yeah,
I do think the Rams have a good outside shot, but I think right behind them could actually be the Cardinals just because
they started 2-0 in division.
Not only that, they have a more favorable schedule than the Rams. That's
true.
Kind of what it comes down to.
I am curious about this. Well, I know who's favored to win the division. I was just going to see who's favored to win the division, but like I know who's favored to win the division right now because I still think
is it the
they
Niners?
might still be I would assume so.
If it's the Seahawks, that's a joke.
C West. Yeah, Niners.
Yeah.
Niners are plus 110, Cardinals plus 320, Rams plus 390, and Seahawks plus 500. I might double down on that Rams. Double down on Rams winning the division.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Niners are being a little overblown right now, just because if they were a fully healthy team, okay, I'm with you, but they're not. So only one of these teams is making it out to make it to the playoffs, which is kind of the opposite of what I thought was going to happen.
I'm trying to see what I got to win the division. Got them.
Yeah.
What did I say? I got them at plus 350. What did I say? Plus 390 right now?
Yeah.
Double down? Double down?
You could.
Double down?
That 10 to win 39.
Shut up.
Hey, I'm
learning. I didn't say I was a high roller. Anyway, let's get into our top tens. Damn it.
Yeah,
you've done hurt my feelings. Get into top 10 because
you want to get your feelings hurt a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I'll just keep it running here.
Yeah, you'll start with your propaganda that I can't get behind yet.
Number 10 this week. Since we just spent some time talking about them, I got the Rams in there. I'm doing it. I'm on the wagon officially. I'm officially there. I'm buying in again. They are getting healthy. They are getting better. Left side of that offensive line has not given up a sack in a combined 283 pass blocking snaps so far this season. That's a start.
Actually, that's so fun. That O-line is so not healthy. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Is like they had cluster injuries to start the year on the O-line, and obviously receiver, and on the back end of the defense, they got hurt everywhere
early.
Playing the Giants week 1 because the Giants are Lions just doing that to everybody, just beating everybody up. The other part of that is I lost the tweet. Damn. Oh, here we go. So here it is. After 4 weeks, the Rams ranked 31st in defensive EPA per game. Since that time, they're 8th. They were a top 10 defense in October as Darius Williams came back.
Yeah, that was huge for them.
The secondary, yes. So the defense is coming together again.
Okay.
The O-line has gotten healthy again. Kupp is back. Puka's back.
Yeah.
That division is, like we just talked about, very much winnable. And they could be in first place after this weekend.
And I do just want to raise a point to all of our listeners out there. I'm a Rams fan. I've been a Rams fan for, I think, close to 15 years now. You would not guess that based on the way we talk on this podcast.
Oh, I told you this year I am so far in on the Rams.
I love them. They're a great team, great organization. Sean McVay saved that organization. However, as much as I love that team, love Puka Nacua, and I loved Aaron Donald through and through, heart and soul, I am not putting them in my top 10.
That's fair. You need to see it more.
I
am going to be
I
early
need
to
to
the
see it.
party, and I will welcome you at the gates when
I'll
you
be
decide to
there.
come in.
You know me. I'll be more than happy to
Hmm.
enter that gate.
Yeah.
And they win 2 in a row, 3 in a row, go to 6-4. I'm back. I'm in. They're up there.
Hmm.
But there's just other teams that are doing it now and are healthy now. They didn't have to be healthy to win games. That's it. So at my 10 is the Falcons.
Fair enough.
So I have
Is
the
this the first
Falcons
time
in
you've had
there.
them in there?
No, that is not my first time. I had them in there back in week 6.
I was
They're
going to say, you
nine
haven't
for
in a
me.
while. I
They
was going to
they
say, you haven't
fell
had them in
out
a while.
last week. They had a weird loss against
Seahawks. Boat
the
raced them.
Seahawks, and then I didn't like that. But
Desperate Seahawks.
they had a good win this week.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Kyle Pitts had a good game, so whenever Kyle Pitts
Almost
has a
had
good game,
a massively boneheaded play in that
I,
game.
yeah, I feel like you gotta kind of reward him. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
technically I think he did fumble it, but
Hey, yeah, it was
whatever, they didn't
close.
call it.
Yeah, that was a
But yeah,
little scary.
you
But
beat
I got the Falcons at 6. Just
you got the
throwing that
Falcons
out
at
there.
6.
Bumped them up to 6. I told you, like
Interesting.
I'm very much
You
like I
you
know
have
what
an
they
inter
are.
I'm curious because I think that I know who your 9 is, which is interesting, but we'll get to that in a second.
Fair enough. Yeah. Go
Um,
ahead, do your thing on the Falcons.
but yeah, I like them as a team. They've shown me a few times now that they're here to win, and that
Hmm.
their losses have come against good defenses, and that's where they kind of struggle a little bit, is against the well-rounded defenses. So that
Yeah.
does worry me long term, is like any team with like that top tier defense, they're gonna struggle against, period.
Yeah.
But
I don't
otherwise
think
they
they're a
play
Super Bowl
well.
team, but like in terms of
No,
like I think they're a very
no.
good team.
I'm not gonna put a Super Bowl team though above like 10. I think if you're a Super Bowl team, you need to be in the top like 7. If you're top 7 and above, I think you can win the Super Bowl.
That's
Any
fair.
team below then, I think you're going to struggle because there's teams that are more well-rounded than you. The
Yeah, I just
Falcons have
don't.
a great defense. Their offense just struggles at times against teams with
Mhm.
very, very good defenses.
Yeah.
So,
And I just also think this year for various reasons, just because everyone's kind of like jumbled in the middle there.
yeah,
From what I've seen so far, I think there's 5 teams that could win a Super Bowl right now, if you ask me. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's like 8
I
teams
think I think
that you
I think
can
there's
really like sit
7.
down and make arguments
Um,
for.
I think there's
I feel
6. I'll take it back. I think there's 6.
fair enough. So we're kind of in the same space there,
Yeah,
where like I have them just outside of that. I think like a championship weekend is probably their ceiling, but
yeah,
that's kind of yeah. And I again I feel like I just know exactly what they are,
yeah.
and they
In
could
case,
screw
go
around
ahead.
and fumble into the number 1
Yeah,
seed just because
yeah.
of how
That
their schedule's falling and what's going on with the
yeah,
rest of the NFC right now.
yeah. It's certainly possible. But like you said, neither of us consider them to be a Super Bowl contender. We consider them to
Right.
be a very good playoff team, but
Mm-hmm.
will struggle against any team that has a very good
Yeah.
defense and figures them out quick, which the
Yeah.
Seahawks did and the Steelers did very
Yeah.
quickly.
If you're
Um,
gonna beat up Kirk Cousins and have to make him move, then it's not gonna go well
it's
if
a
you're a
ball game.
Falcons
It's a ball
fan.
game.
Yeah.
Just in case you were wondering about what's going on in the Dodgers Yankees game,
Oh yeah, what's going on
Tommy
there?
Tommy Kahnle just loaded the bases in
Oh
the
shit! Top of the 8th, right?
top of the 8th. Yeah.
Top of the 8th, no outs.
No outs. Yeah, he just got pulled. I think Mookie Betts is up. Oh,
Oh shit!
Will Smith is
No,
up.
Gavin. Will Smith or Gavin Lux?
Uh,
I got Gavin. It's showing me Gavin
might
Lux.
be Lux.
Will Smith, I
Mine,
think, might have just walked.
yeah, mine might be behind. So you got Lux and
Yeah,
then
Will Smith is
Otani.
on.
So he's seeing Otani. That's hilarious. All right.
Oh boy.
Back to your regularly scheduled programs. We'll
Yeah,
update you guys
there we
as
go.
needed.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that up just so I know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My number 9 is the Eagles.
same.
Same. Okay, that's not who I thought you had at 9. Cool.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're playing good football. They beat a good offense this week, which they needed to
Yeah.
do, and they beat them bad in the second half, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
because the game was very close going into halftime, and they just put their foot on the gas, and the defense actually decided to show up this week. So it's a huge
Yeah.
plus.
I over the last 3 weeks, I was kind of waiting because like I was waiting for a letdown game again.
And
Honestly,
they
with them,
haven't
just
had it.
because
Yeah.
they just haven't had that. And Hurts is no picks over his last three. Currently has the third longest active streak of pass attempts without an interception.
Yeah.
I did see that as well. He kind of took over that game then too. I mean, just ground game. I mean, he had 4 total touchdowns in that game. Um, they look really good right now.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on Sirianni at all. I
No,
don't think
no. But
I think they're a team that is playing really well without being a well coached team.
yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. At this point, you
Right.
don't need to be well coached. The team's just kind of taking over and doing what it needs to do, and that's what you need at this point.
Yeah,
So good on them for realizing that and realizing their identity at this point. And I
yeah,
think
and
that'll make it interesting in that NFC East that we kind of talked about. So I
right,
think
right.
between them and the Commanders, who I actually have at 8, I think that's going to be
Hey,
highly
look at
competitive.
that.
You got them at 8? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Then we probably have the same 7. So yeah, I have the
Uh
Commanders at 8. Um, Jaden Daniels again, just proving why he's going to be Rookie of the Year,
oh.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. But just that Hail Mary was insane. I mean, it should never been completed. We'll talk about that, but the fact
Yeah,
that
I was
Noah
just
Brown
gonna
was
say
just
that
standing there
clip.
to
That clip was insane. Of what's his name, Stevenson,
yeah,
just hyping up the
just
crowd and
just
everything like that.
antagonizing them and then being the one to tip it in the hands of Noah Brown. Just
Yeah,
perfect.
I saw somebody said like if he just wouldn't have gotten back into the play, the Bears probably win that game.
Yeah, yeah. If he just takes himself out completely, which
Yeah,
is
if
even
he just
more funny.
never turns around and like re-enters the play,
Yeah,
and because he's the one that ended up tipping that ball, just ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, Commanders right now they're just finding ways to win games.
yeah. And it's
Like,
not like the Bears are a bad team, but they were shutting them
mm-mm.
down defensively. That was a defensive
Yeah,
game, which nobody really expected. And
yeah,
Jaden Daniels even playing in that game is a miracle. He shouldn't have been.
I did
So
not
like
expect. Oh,
neither did I. I didn't have him starting in any of my teams this week because I didn't think he was going to play, so I was playing it safe. And he still went out and he put up a hell of a game. So good for him getting the job done. Even
yeah,
being able to get the ball down the field to even make a play is perfect. And the
yeah,
fact that a play was made is even better. So I'm
yeah.
I'm excited for the Commanders and what they have to do. I'm not excited that the Steelers' next game is against them. That'll
Mm.
be an interesting kind of battle between our
I think
front
you're gonna
seven
find
and
out.
Jaden.
I was just gonna say, I think you're gonna find out pretty quickly how good that rib is feeling,
How the what?
how good his ribs are feeling.
Yeah,
Because if
it's not
TJ
like
Watt
it's not
gets
like the
left
Commando.
untouched
Yeah,
coming off the edge there, like he's gonna get
yeah.
a
So
yard.
fun fact: it's Commanders one don't have a incredible offensive line. They have a good. It's like probably top 12, I'd say.
Oh shit! Timeout, real quick. So Gavin Lux hit a sack fly,
Okay, six
and
all.
then so 6-all right now. Shohei Otani came up as a foul ball at first. Catcher interference.
Okay.
Bases are loaded again with 1 out.
Oh my gosh, who's up? Oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
catcher
it's Mookie. It's Mookie,
Mookie's up.
and
Mookie's
then
up, and
Freeman,
Freeman
and then
following.
Freeman's
Just don't hit into a double play right now.
amazing,
Don't
amazing.
hit
I want
into
to
a
see
double
Freeman.
play
Could you
and
imagine Freeman
let.
hitting another grand slam to end the series?
I mean, he's
It's
what
poetic.
is it? It's 6 straight
Six
World
straight
Series
World
games
Series games without him
with
running.
a home run.
This would be
Absolutely
7.
insane. What
But
a
yeah,
guy.
yeah. Back to the
Sorry,
Commanders.
back to
Fun
the
fact.
Steelers.
Oh well, back. I'll talk about it later when we get to the Steelers. But
Okay.
Steelers are working on something that'll make that Commanders game not fun for Jaden Daniels.
I don't know, just play defense.
No, it's even worse. Like it is going to
Oh,
terrorize
awesome.
him.
Awesome.
you
Even
you got to
better.
have fun in the back half here.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right. So who do you
all
have
right.
at 7?
Who do you have?
I got the Steelers at 7.
Oh, you did not push them up at all, really. I see. Interesting.
I moved them up a couple spots.
I have the Steelers at 5.
Hmm.
I have the
All right, fair
Vikings at
enough.
7.
I do
So
not have
you
the
have
Vikings.
in the top 10.
No, I dropped him out.
Interesting. Interesting. See,
Two straight
that's where I thought.
losses. I think we're kind of coming back to reality a little bit
See,
on
I thought
them
you would have had the Vikings at 9. So when you didn't have them at 9, I
now.
thought you were gonna have them at 8, and then I got really confused when you didn't have them at 8 because I knew
No,
I was gonna be slightly higher on
no.
them than you. The two
The
straight
two that
losses
I
really
left
messed with
out,
you.
the two that I left out that I might,
Yeah,
it could backfire on me a little bit, but just with situations. Vikings and Texans were the two that weren't in
yeah,
mind. That
yeah. And just so everybody knows, Texans aren't in mine either. Oh,
yeah,
Dodgers just took a lead on another sack
yeah. Mookie
fly.
Betts sack fly, and now we got Freddie Freeman up. So
Bases loaded. That's hilarious. All
no,
right,
no, 2-1, 2-1.
two on.
Yeah,
Oh
Mookie
yeah,
Betts hit a
sack
sack
fly.
fly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
so it's about to be 10-6.
Yeah. So I'll talk about the Vikings then real quick before we get
Yeah,
to the Steelers talk. Um, I still like them. They played a good game on Thursday. It's not like they played bad. They
no.
just didn't finish with the ball. That's it. They didn't really
Hmm.
get that chance. And on top of that, there was a couple of questionable calls in that game. If
For
you really
sure,
want to get into it,
for sure.
so
I'm going to be a little early on selling my. I'm early on buying the Ram stock and early on selling my Viking stock.
yeah, I think the Vikings. I think we always knew the Vikings were going to come down a little bit back to earth with
Hmm.
once they're really going to get into more divisional play, just because of how good some of those teams are. I still
Right.
think they might finish second, um, just because they did beat up on the Packers and they've shown us that they can beat up on teams. I think
Yeah.
some offenses are figuring out their defense a little bit more,
Yeah.
which
That's what concerns me
they,
a little bit.
yeah, the Vikings now need to adjust to that. And if they
Hmm.
can adjust without overly adjusting, they'll be fine. So,
I'm more concerned about that than I am the offense because Sam Darnold
yeah,
hasn't been bad the last 2 games. Like he's been really
no,
solid.
no,
I just think
yeah,
that you're seeing it's like okay when it comes down to it, like it's been two like fairly close games. Like him next to watching him and Jared Goff on the same field and him and
yeah,
Matthew Stafford on the same field. It's like yeah, I'm really happy for Sam Darnold. I've liked him a lot. Like I also am very well aware that he is not either one of those guys.
yeah, yeah.
And I
I
think you're going
think,
to start running into that more as the defense start figuring stuff out. Like at some point, he's going to have to start making plays. And
yeah,
I don't, he might do that a couple times, but I think it's more so on the other side of that. So that's why
yeah.
I have
I them not in
sold
there,
a lot of
and
my
I get
stock there.
that. Yeah, I get it. I'm not mad
Yeah.
about it. I do understand. There's a reason I have dropped them again and again. And I consider dropping them a little bit lower, but I'm still buying the offense. I'm still assuming the defense is gonna plateau and figure their shit out. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to drop them completely out of the top 10 yet. One, a little bit of respect. Two,
The
I still
coaching
think
job
they
that's
have it.
going on there.
Yeah. Um,
That's
but
fair.
yeah, all right. Let's get into the Steelers. I'll let you start. It's unfair for me
Steelers
to start.
again, looking good on offense. What they put up this past week?
Uh,
What was the final of that?
was it like
I'm blanking
20,
now.
20, 24?
26.
26, but it could have been, it should have been way more if we really want to play that game.
Yeah, honestly, like, meh.
Yeah.
But again,
This
Russell
is gonna,
Wilson, 20 of 28, 278 yards, touchdown. Like he's producing. That
yeah,
defense is
and
still as
he
good
had
as it
two,
gets.
yeah, he had two touchdowns come back too. If you really want to play that game, it
Yeah.
was just, I mean, he looked as every right as he has in the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's looked better than his last season on Seattle's right now. So,
oh, for sure, yeah. And Giants that defense is no slouch. So
no, not at
I was
all.
impressed.
So,
I was impressed.
yeah, I mean, especially with the way Broderick Jones plays right tackle with
Yeah.
pass protection, it's not pretty. So the fact that he only got sacked once because of Broderick Jones is, I'll
Right.
take that.
Right.
And he did have a fumble. He got chased down. What are you gonna do?
It's gonna happen at this point. He doesn't
Yeah,
move like he used to.
yeah.
Um.
And that's evident. But I mean, when you're dropping balls and they're like the way he was, those are some of the most perfect passes I've seen the Steelers have in the last 7 years, and that's including Big Ben. So
Again, yeah,
I'll take that.
he still
Take that
throws a
every
pretty
day.
ball, so that helps a lot. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with
Yeah.
them. Is like I still
I mean,
they're a good team. They're much
yeah.
better than I thought they were going to be. Um,
with Russ in there. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's
Um,
played 2 games. In both of their games that he's played, they put up over 400 yards of offense. In the last five, I think in the last 5 or 6 years, he leads the team in most 200-yard offensive games. He's played twice. That's
yeah,
including Big Ben. He's
yeah,
Big Ben has one. He has two. I'm just saying.
yeah.
It's new offensive look, which is much needed. It is
Mhm.
a new. I mean, it's not a new defense. The defense is playing out of this world. T.J. Watt is a game wrecker again and again,
Yeah,
and the Steelers have the best special teams in the NFL. What
yeah.
are we doing?
Weirdly
It's
enough,
it's
yeah.
it's mind blowing to see.
Boswell is just
Uh,
a robot at this point.
yeah, I mean he's electric. I know he's making it. Doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
everything else that's shocking to me. They're
yeah,
blocking field goals. They're blocking punts. They're blocking extra points. They're returning kicks. It's
yeah,
something that I wasn't expecting. Like
yeah.
I was
It's
expecting
really
a good
scary when
defense. I was expecting a decent offense at times. I was not expecting the best special teams play you'll see all season.
yeah, it's something different when Mike Tomlin, coach team, gets some juice and then they really start feeling themselves. Like,
Not
it's
only
just
that,
it's
they're
the
believing in
energy.
everything. It's
Exactly, that's what I mean.
everything.
It's like the energy, the belief. Like they look like a different team than they have
Yeah.
in the past couple of years.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
What I was talking about is, and what's going to be scary for Jaden is T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith are working on changing back and forth between sides of the line they're lining up on. Just good luck.
Jesus
That's cheating.
Christ.
Like that's cheating. Like you shouldn't be allowed to do that, but they are because that way it
Because
might free up
why not?
because it might free up Watt from a triple block. It might
Yeah.
fill up. It's you can't scheme for it if
Mhm.
you one guy comes to the other end. Now you have an elite pass rusher on the right,
Yeah.
Pro Bowl caliber pass rusher on the left, and
If
it just
nothing
jumps
else,
back
you're
and
just
forth.
making a rookie quarterback think about something else.
Yeah, and too much against
Yeah.
the top three
And this
defense in
is
the NFL.
why
It's
Tomlin is such a good coach. It's just like it's the head games that
yeah,
he plays.
and then now you have Deshaun Elliott blitzing while Landon Roberts is also blitzing. Patrick Queen's dropping back to play box safety. It's
Yeah, Patrick
what are
Quinn.
we doing? Yeah, I mean he's playing a lot better.
Yeah,
I'm just
they
saying.
kind of found his role again, kind of what he was doing with the
Yeah,
Ravens
which
last
is
year.
good.
He's
He's
getting
making a
hidden a
lot of
lot.
plays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
he's better
because
when he gets hidden more because Roquan Smith
yeah,
covered a lot of his deficiencies, and he's kind of
yeah.
getting that with the help
I
of
mean he's not a
Watt and
pass
Highsmith.
rusher,
No, he's
and
not. He's
and
not a
Landon
great pursuit
Roberts.
guy.
Yeah, Landon
He's just
Roberts
like,
does everything well that Patrick Queen doesn't. Landon Roberts is the best run stopping linebacker
hmm,
that I've seen in a long time.
yeah,
At least on the Steelers. I'm not saying in the NFL. I'm sure there's others that are really good at it. But
yeah,
the way he's able to stop the run is needed for that team. While like Patrick Queen does good on pursuit and getting guys from behind. I'm not saying he's great at coverage, but he's good at
but he's
running a
not a
guy
good
down.
coverage guy.
Yeah, he's good at running guys down and speed and making that tackle. I've seen it, so.
Yeah, no, he
But
can
like
he can definitely get frustrating at times, but yeah,
he's not the big name guy on that defense, which is good for him.
hmm.
He shouldn't be. That's
No,
where you
he
have
that's
your
100%,
yeah, that's where
100%.
you
Yeah,
have your
because
Minka, your TJ Watt, your Cam Hayward, who's making those big plays
like I
that you're
said, when he
expecting
gets
them to.
hidden behind some other people, it's usually better for him because that's like I said.
Yeah,
I mean, the second that they got Roquan, it was like he was a different player.
yeah. And I mean, if the
Um,
Steelers add another wide receiver like they're expecting to, like we talked about, I think team's just going to be better, and
yeah,
I expect them to by Tuesday next week. I wish they would do it sooner, just so we can kind of
right.
acclimate
Get
them during the
another
bye
right.
week. But we'll see kind of what they do here. All right,
Yep. Who
your
did you have at
six.
6? My 6 was the
I have
Falcons.
I have the Raven. You lose to the Browns, I gotta drop you. I don't care who's at quarterback. I don't care. The team is not good. I have to. I didn't drop you
Yeah,
far, but I'm gonna drop you.
I did drop them. I just didn't, not even from a bias perspective. And this is just partly because, like,
They should
it's
have won
just
the
what
game, yes,
they should have won
but
the
they
game.
didn't.
And I look at
But they
it, they
didn't.
didn't. I agree with that. I'm not even saying it from that point. I'm just saying, like, they have 2 of these games a year, just nothing goes right. It
Yeah,
wasn't
sure.
like
And it's
the
just a
to me the
happen chance.
Raiders loss was much worse
Oh,
because
100%.
of how that happened. It's just like they just completely took their foot off the gas and everything went to shit.
Yeah,
This one, it's not even. I'm not even concerned about the. Derrick Henry only had 11 carries in that game because they were getting crushed a little bit for that. That
yeah,
doesn't bother me because like Lamar got him down. They were in a position to win that game. They had a chance to win that game. Like he got him down
yeah,
there. For me, it was what 7 drops in that game.
yeah,
Yeah, on offense and defense. Kyle Hamilton had the ball in his hands for I don't know 4.5 seconds before he dropped the game-winning pick.
yeah. If he
And it
picks
was
that
like
off,
at that point,
I don't
and he
drop him.
picks that off, and that's kind of where I'm at. Where it's like they deserved. I moved them from where they were, but I wasn't. So I have them at 3. I didn't feel. I don't feel like the Packers are better than them. I don't feel like the Bills are better than them. If we're just going to give away what I have going on right
I
now
mean,
in that little
those are the
stretch
teams
there.
I have. Those are the teams I have left too.
Right.
It's just what it is. I think
Exactly.
you.
Like
So yeah, we'll
I
strip the
just also
Band-Aid off.
don't because they boat race the Bills.
Yeah,
Like I said, I don't see how they're worse than those 2 teams based off of that game.
yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
I think
I
they
get what
played
you're
a dog
saying.
shit game. I don't think they're a dog shit team. And I
Yeah,
think
I'm not saying
the
they're a dog shit team. Obviously, they're up
right,
this high.
yeah, you know what I mean. But like,
I just
I don't
you
know.
got to. I have to
I do
knack
think
them for where
the
they're
little
at.
extra juice where it's like, oh my god, we don't have to come out here with Deshaun Watson was enough. It was enough juice to get those
Yeah,
guys going. They were playing hard.
yeah.
Again, like I said, accidentally, Jameis Winston's going to throw a couple bombs in this game. That's
I
exactly
mean,
what he did
he threw
because
300
Kyle
plus
Hamilton
yards.
drops
That's
that
all he
pick.
does.
Yeah, and Kyle Hamilton
Yeah.
drops that pick. Very next play, 40 yards to whoever the fuck it was. I don't even remember
Was
who
it
it was at
Tillman?
this
Tillman
point.
caught 2 touchdown passes in that
It
game.
might have been
It's
Tillman, and
crazy.
he was wide open. He just got beat. There's
Yeah.
a chance in that too where the Ravens had to kind of break the game open a little bit. Um, Lamar on
I
a
mean,
third and 14 gets a
you
ton of
missed too many
time,
opportunities.
throws a dot to Rashad Bateman, hits him in the face mask, goes
Yeah.
right through his hands, hits him in the face mask. It was just like there were so many just bad plays on just bad breaks more than anything. Just like couldn't catch. Nobody could catch a football in that game.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where that one fell for me. So I wasn't, not even as a homer, because like obviously I wasn't happy about that loss. I was,
Yeah. Yeah.
got very loud in my apartment when Kyle
Yeah.
Hamilton picked him off and then
Dropped
didn't.
it.
That was a really tough like 14 seconds for me. So,
Yeah. I think I'm obviously going to be a little bit more difficult on your team than you are, and
that's fair.
vice versa. But I'm
Yeah.
also very hard on my team. I know.
That's true.
I'm probably harder on my
That's
team
true.
than most people are.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Lamar is in that game would have gone like 12 of 30 and threw for like $115.
Yeah.
And it just looked
I'm not
like
even talking
across the
about.
board it was bad. Like I probably
Yeah.
would be completely
I'm not even
burying them
talking
right
about
now.
the offense right now for the Ravens. That's never been where
Oh,
my
the
issues have
secondary is
lied.
bad. The secondary
It's your
is
defense
really
and
struggling.
specifically the secondary. And if
Yeah.
you guys
They
can't
were
make the
without Nate
stops,
Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey this past week though too. They
yeah,
practiced today,
and that's
so
tough.
there's
So
that.
like, I just like again, I like the consistency. If Ravens prove more and more that their secondary gets better, that their defense plays up to
Mhm.
the whole, then yeah, they're fine. I don't
Yeah,
expect them to be at 6 next week. I expect Steelers have a
right.
bye, so I expect them to jump the Steelers and whatnot. But just how I feel after that week, I feel more confident in what I saw from the Steelers against a bad team than what I saw from the Ravens against a bad team.
True. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't I don't disagree with that statement whatsoever.
yeah.
I just like I said, I don't know. I still think the Ravens are a better team than the Steelers,
I think
but
the Ravens have a better offense on paper than the Steelers do,
Mhm.
especially right now after their trade for Deontay.
yeah,
I think the Steelers have a better defense and special teams.
Mm.
So I think it's just what preference comes down to at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
And we're
it's
not gonna
they're tough
we
right now.
still have we still have like 3 or 4 weeks till we see that head-to-head matchup in
And
Baltimore.
yeah, that and like I'm still like I feel very good about Russell. I'm still just like hesitant to kind of go all in on that
Yeah,
just yet.
I'm not
That's
going all
kind
in.
of like
And
I'm moving them up slowly
yeah,
as
I'll be
I'm
the
seeing
first.
it build.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be the first person to rip them right back. You know that. I'm not gonna hide
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I was hesitant to make the switch. I'm happy that I was wrong. Very happy. But again, I'm also gonna own my mistakes. And if Russ stops playing well, they'll be
Mm,
gone. I'm not afraid of that.
that's
So
fair. So you
who's
had
your
them there.
five?
So and you had the Steelers at 5, right?
I have the Steelers at five. So what? You have the Packers at five.
I have the Bills at 5.
Oh, I have the Bills at three.
Okay, so you go Packers, Bills,
Lions,
Lions,
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Yeah,
Yep.
fair enough. We're kind of all right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
all
got
the
the
same
Bills at
shit.
5. I got the Bills below the Packers because it really just comes down to like I do feel like I know what the Bills are at this point, and they're a
Yeah,
team that will take care of their business against bad teams, and then just find ways to lose games against good teams. They really feel like the Cowboys of the last couple of years, where it's like,
yeah,
the Cowboys were beaten up on, the Giants, the Commanders, the dredge of the NFC,
yeah,
but, you know, they split against the Eagles or they, struggle against the Dolphins or the Niners, or, it's just shit like that. Like the Bills right now, I like them. I still think they run away with that division like they are right now, but it is just like I don't feel as good about them as I do the Packers because
no,
of that coaching job right now.
that's fair. I'm not gonna.
And the Packers are just finding ways to win games. Like, I mean, if LaFleur is going 3-0 basically with Malik Willis, like
Which
he's
is
doing a hell of
which
a
is
job.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not denying that. I think the Packers and Bills are kind of like interchangeable. They're like very
that's fair.
similar. They both have. I mean, the Bills have the better quarterback. Packers have the better defense.
Better coach too, I think.
Yeah, better, safer coach. um,
That's true.
yeah.
It's very
So
true.
they're both high caliber teams capable of winning games. I want to see the Bills
Mm.
win bigger games. Um,
Yeah, if they, I don't know who they have coming up here soon. I mean, like if they beat up on the Chiefs, like I'll feel a lot
oh
better about them.
yeah, I mean if they beat the
Things
Chiefs,
like
then hell
that, like
yeah.
you just for nothing else, just getting the monkey off your back a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, my whole issue with the Bills is they've just made some dumb decisions. Like they made the dumbest decision against the Texans. They should have won that
Hmm.
game, and
Yep.
they didn't because of bad play calling at the end of the game.
Hmm.
So to put it in perspective, Bills play Dolphins, Colts, Chiefs. So
Yeah.
they play a now healthy Dolphins team, but they played a healthy Dolphins team and they crushed them.
We're
It wasn't
beating the
even
doors
close.
off. I also just wasn't buying the Dolphins this year anyway, so like that didn't mean as much to me.
Yeah,
Like I had the
yeah,
Dolphins missing the playoffs,
yeah.
so
I didn't,
it's
and no, yeah,
yeah. So I didn't take as much stock into that. Just I will throw that out there
yeah.
before you come at me because you're like, they beat the Dolphins and they were healthy. And I was
No,
like,
no, no,
they
no.
didn't buy the Dolphins
I was
anyway.
just saying.
I
So
think them beating a Joe Flacco led Colts is going to mean more to me than them beating up on the Dolphins.
fair enough. I mean, especially at this point, the Dolphins are kind of out of it.
Yeah.
They beat the Dolphins this week. I think that kind of knocks the wind out of any Miami sail. That puts
Yeah.
them at 2-7. And then playing in Indy next week will be a fun game. I think
Mm.
kind of like put into
And then you got
perspective,
that.
like you
I
got the
mean, look
big
ahead.
big
That's a
cooking
trap game. Big trap
the
game playing the Colts
Colts.
before the Chiefs. I mean, they're
Yeah,
going to be looking ahead to the Chiefs there. I mean, it's
you
going to
definitely
happen
are. And that game's at home. I think they have a good shot to win that game
to beat the Chiefs.
to beat the Chiefs. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
you
yeah.
have a very good shot.
Yeah. I think just about anybody has a puncher's chance, really, at this point, because Chiefs just don't want to blow anybody out, and when they play good teams, they
If
play them close.
dude, if the Bucks were healthy, I think the Bucks win. I think the Bucks might win anyways. Um, That's who the Chiefs play on Monday.
Mm,
I think the Bucks could win that game. That's a
I
sneaky
do need the
pick
Bucks to kind of keep losing a little bit here. Actually,
for
I
your
forgot I had
propaganda,
a.
yeah.
Yeah, well, not even my propaganda for my DraftKings account. Actually, I
But
did notice that the other day. If they could lose 4 out of 5 here, that would really help me out. Actually,
I
but
don't know if they're
that's a
gonna.
whole other
But
thing.
I mean, they're
So,
just if they had one healthy receiver, I think they
yeah,
beat the Chiefs. But it doesn't look like Mike Evans is gonna be back until the Bills game. So, oh, not the
gotcha.
Bills
Yeah,
game. I'm sorry.
so
I was looking at the Chiefs schedule. The Giants. So,
what's that? 3 weeks?
oh,
2 weeks?
3 weeks. So yeah, because it's right after the bye. They play the
Yeah, and depending
Chiefs
on
and
where
the
they at,
Niners.
yeah.
A
Oof,
tough 2 game stretch.
oof.
Here for them. Yeah, big oof.
Yeah,
That
nice
helps your
first place
propaganda.
schedule. Yeah, it does help a little bit
Yeah.
there. But yeah, let's get into the top two here real quick. I don't want
Okay.
to
I
spend
mean,
as much.
we can't really spend any time on these two teams. They're freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I just Chiefs
The
just keep
Lions
winning
dropped
games, and it's
52
like,
again.
and what Jared Goff threw like 85 yards in that game.
It's just like, what are we doing? Like it.
They are beating the doors off of everybody
You,
right now.
let's just say the Lions are the better team. They are. Period. They're the better team.
Hmm.
Between them and the Chiefs, they are. The Chiefs are just undefeated and have Patrick Mahomes.
And
That's
they
it.
have the pedigree right now where it's like until like I really see something bad happen, like
I
what
can't
am I
knock
gonna
them.
do?
If they lose one game, it's flip. Lions go to 1, Chiefs go to 2. Simple.
That's fair.
I'll surprise you guys now. Lions were my favorite coming into the season for to make it to the Super Bowl. They
Hmm.
still are out of the NFC, and I still like them a lot. As long as they don't make dumb decisions down the stretch here, they kind of have it
Well,
locked up. That I
there's your
mean,
Dan Campbell
if
stuff there.
if they get home field advantage for the playoffs, I'm
Oh
losing it.
yeah,
Like
like I
it's
said, I
you
mean,
might as you write that check right now.
I, I feel like they're a lock to get to the NFC Championship game again.
Yeah,
Um, I think that's yeah.
yeah.
It's they look so good right now,
So
so good.
they're a well-run team. Everything is
Hmm.
firing on all cylinders, and that's without their best defensive player, which is
Yeah,
insane. So
yeah, and they could
I
still
just
add somebody to just kind of
yeah,
fill
yeah,
that
they
hole there
definitely
too.
can. So I think overall they're a better team. I think they're gonna play like the better team throughout this entire season. I think
Hmm.
the Chiefs might stumble a week or two here and there. I think they probably still finish 13 and
Yeah,
4. The Chiefs do. They'll
I
win
mean,
two
yeah, at
games.
this point, like,
They play the Broncos in 2 weeks. I think they might lose that game. I'm
yeah,
gonna
they
be
can go
honest
six
with
and
you.
four and win 13 games.
Yeah. So
It's like, what the
that
hell
that's
is
nuts.
happening?
Um,
Oh God, it's so frustrating. Like they're just kind of
it
taking
is.
the
It
air
is
out of it a little bit.
frustrating because they're playing like dog water and just
And just
winning games.
winning games.
They're barely
I
winning, but they're
did,
winning games.
yeah, no, and I did see like Mahomes' numbers are not good right now, like in
They're
total, but
awful.
his fourth quarter numbers are unreal. He's like top five in every category.
Yeah, I mean, he just finds a way to win. And I wish
He
that
just turns it on then, and then
it's
they win games.
at
Yeah,
at this point, just do it the entire game. Don't piss me off. Like that's it. You're just pissing me off. Like look bad or
right.
look good. Don't look good
Yeah,
for 1 quarter.
pick a lane.
Yeah, like god damn it.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's my mini rant of the Chiefs this week.
yeah. It's
I
just
can't
again,
click much anymore.
yeah, it is what it is. Tip your cap to him, but I don't know, dude. Andy Reid retired. Give me hope for real. Let
He
Eric
should have
Bieniemy
retired.
take over the job,
Oh god,
or
that's a
Spags.
dumpster
Oh my
fire.
God, promote Spags for the
That would
love
be
of God.
so
Promote
funny.
Spags.
That team
Oh
would
my God, that would be
crash and burn
fantastic.
so fast.
Oh,
So
that I need
fast.
that. I need that so much. I need that to be their succession plan.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Oh man. All right. Well, one last little update here. Top of the ninth right now.
7-6.
7-6. Runners on first and second. Tommy Edmond just came up with
All
one
right.
out. So
Well,
I'm gonna go.
but
Fingers crossed. Watch the Yankee season end here because there's no team I hate more in sports than
more
I
than
do the Yankees,
oh,
and
hate the Yankees.
I cannot wait to laugh at my girlfriend's uncle, who's a very big Yankees fan.
Hell yeah, brother. All right,
Rub that
let's
in.
get out of here.
Cool.
You
We'll
guys
be
will
back
know. You
again.
guys will know by the time you get to this what actually the end result of this game is. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and let's get out of here.
Cool.